Alright. Alright, guys. Start of video 3. Just looking at the defensive stats here. Langenberg at the top after having really no stats in the first game. I can actually pull that up against Iowa State. Let's see if he did anything. You know what? They probably won't have defensive stats on ESPN+. But either way, coming through, leading everyone in tackles. I thought Belkin had a memorable game. I know he was given that flag for taunting after one of our turnovers that we benefited from. Governor is always providing the energy. He had one costly penalty, to be honest. There was that one play where Youngstown State got a first down because he had a late hit. Staley, honestly, probably had more than 5. I don't know who's doing the stats. I feel like Staley was everywhere. Maybe it's just because he had that onside kick return that it seemed like he was in more places. Galvin had the pick, including all solo tackles. Gabriel Martin, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, he had coverage on the Youngstown receiver who ended up scoring one of those garbage touchdowns. So I know they were picking on him a little bit, but still a solid day. And then Cannon Butler, let's not forget, Dearman, I, again, thought he had more than 3, but he was definitely active, helping probably with coverage. And then Cannon Butler had a sack, and he was hyped as hell. I remember he was just like getting at his teammates, like, why aren't you celebrating with me? I'm excited. So, storylines, we got 3 minutes here. Youngstown hadn't won in Cedar Falls since 1999, which is kind of crazy because Youngstown is a respectable team. Only 4 losses by UNI since then. So they have lost just at Youngstown, which makes sense. There's the dome effect, which they even talked about. Youngstown did in some of their prep videos, how they were practicing for the crowd noise, how the dome affects hydration, which I didn't even think about, that they were hydrating differently since they're indoors. Rushing attack today was not as dominant as it's been. Even against Ohio State, you saw more of King, who is 8th in the FCS rushing, 3rd, I believe, in players who only played 3 games, and he was not their leading back today for whatever reason. Rushton had 4 catches for 30 yards, which was respectable. So, but but they just weren't clicking on all cylinders. Theo had new faces to work with, and I'm speeding up because I have 2.5 minutes here. Morenstein street clothes, not sure why. Bunton and Leahy step up for 2 scores and nearly 145 yards between them. So nice there. Should we be worried about the Penguins' last-minute heroics? No. I think that they just figured out our defense maybe at the end, but who cares? If you're going to figure out our offense with 6 minutes to go every game, by all means. I'm not concerned that they could storm down. We knew we had won the game. Wu's antics costing the team? They are not. And I touched on that earlier, that 15-yard penalty extended the drive, but that's who he is. The good comes with the bad. He's our energy. I already talked about Ben Belkin's taunting, but that was after one of our turnovers. So if we're celebrating, it comes with the good, sometimes the celebration. Indiana State, 1.5 minutes here. They lost to Murray State. Murray State is not a good Missouri Valley Conference team either. They lost close, which is the closest their games have been. If anyone has looked at their other games, they got shut out by EIU, who's actually having a solid year. Eastern has been garbage in recent years. They obviously have a storied history. They have a new coach as of last year who played with some of those greats in EIU's past, so he seems to be bringing some spirit back, but enough Eastern Illinois talk. They got blown out, shut out by EIU. Blown out by Indiana, blown out by Ball State. This is their only competitive game. Their quarterback is back, and it looks like this Harry Van Dyne fellow is maybe someone to watch. 10 catches, 122 yards. I already kind of touched on that new quarterback. I think what's interesting is now that they finally have a competitive game and seem to have their full team, they're a more worthy opponent, but I say UNI should convincingly beat them, I would say, by double digits. That would be my goal. It should look kind of like that Idaho State game. Thanks, guys. Sorry about the formatting. This is a little different than the other videos. I'll be back in Section T against North Dakota, so hope to see you guys. If anything, feel free to talk. Thanks, guys. Bye.